What's going on, guys? Switch over to my beautiful face here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Radis, hello. Banger XD, you were first in the chat. How's it going? Oh, thanks for the follow, Jay Zook. How you guys doing this morning? Hey, Giovanni. Switch over to YouTube to see if we got anything there. All right, cool. Oh man, I woke up today feeling just totally lost. So we're gonna see how this goes. You ever have that happen where you just kind of like wake up in the morning and you're just like, what am I doing today? You know, like it's hopefully coffee will fix this, right? So it's cool. Sometimes you just gotta jump up in the fog and get to work. Scott, hey, how's it going? Same vibes, yeah. Seiki, how's it going? Yeah. We got just a simple. I'm just playing around with it, you know. See how it goes. Emmanuel, hello from Macedonia. Very cool. Hey, Nikki. AA, good to see you. Good morning or good afternoon from the Netherlands. What's up, Paul? A is here. He is present. Yeah, he's my design Twitch buddy. All right. Well, what are we going to be working on today? All the boys in the chat. That's right. You know, honestly, the only person we're missing is Charlie. I haven't seen her all week. She has not been live. I see 7020p. I don't think. I hope not. I didn't change anything. Should be streaming in 1080, but yeah, we need to get Charlie Marie up in here. If you guys don't follow her, she is an awesome person, great designer, and she streams on Twitch, which is great because that takes some courage. I'm gonna switch up the music real quick. Hold on, guys. It's a little bit too poppin' for a Wednesday morning like this. Uh-oh. I think that the auto mod is punishing AA. Oh no. Who is also a mod, so I don't understand that. Sorry, A. I'm gonna fix that later. There we go. Seiki. I'm so sorry. Somebody was dropping like some references to genitalia and stuff in the chat yesterday, so I threw that up and I was just like, anyway, trying to prevent all that kind of stuff from happening. Make it a safe space. Yeah, head over to my profile. I have it linked. She's one of my hosts, or one of the channels that I host. I'll turn that link thing off tonight. So anyway, before we get started on work stuff, I want to open it up to you guys to celebrate some Wednesday wins. Something new that I want to do for the stream, and I'd love for you to share like something good that happened this week so far. A lot of times, like Wednesdays, kind of get the negative vibe of like halfway through the week, especially when you're just going into a Wednesday, and I think that we can change that. So what's a win that you guys have had so far this week? Let me know. For me, obviously running remote teams can be challenging, and this week marks the 4th course launch that Mark Contreras has run completely independently. I used to manage every single one of those, like ground up from the team, and he has single-handedly kind of taken that over, and I'm stoked. I really am pumped because this whole delegation thing is new to me. So that's going out today. We're launching the print workshop again today. So that's my Wednesday win. First win timed out for 2 minutes. I'm so sorry. Oh man. Okay, hold on. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. Now you're a mod. Onboarding a major laptop brand. That's a win. Nice. Congrats, Radis. Yeah, you made the same mistake. That auto mod is harsh, man. Woo. Seiki showed your clients their first wireframes last night and they were super happy. That's great. Yeah. I hate that external validation, but I also want to celebrate it because it feels amazing when you nail something for the client. Darude Danstorm, got your prototype through with no revisions? What? Congrats. No revisions is huge. My brother is just starting down his freelancing journey. He's going through the whole Upwork thing, and he's doing like audio work. So it's a totally different world. And he just learned the definition of the word revision from one of his first clients. So I was kind of coaching him through that and helping him out. Yeah, that's a mythical creature. Yeah. See, I'm in the backlog of all the ideas that I have is like a set of freelance merit badge, a set of freelance merit badges that like you can buy for people as a gift, kind of like a funny thing. And one of the merit badges is to do a project with no revisions. Yeah, that's like the Eagle Scout merit badge there. You just used up all your luck in one go. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, you gotta celebrate it. I don't know. Maybe Danstorm is like the chosen one. You know, maybe he's got like the magic you don't have. All right, so Nikki, finally got yourself to read a couple of chapters in the book I bought a month ago. I would say that's a win. Yeah, I've got books like that's just been sitting on my shelf for a long time. So, okay. But I think like doing this, I watched a TED Talk and I don't know who it was. Don't put the link in the chat, my God, because that thing will ban you. But it talked about like the power of gratitude, and one of the things that it said in there, and I'm gonna butcher this, but it trains your brain to look for positive things, and so that's something I'm working on, and I would love that. Yeah, to just help you guys train your brain to be more positive by finding wins in the week. Cliff notes of lean UX, that would be killer. Do you want better? You should make a video about it. You got a good setup, man. Need to go know what God he's praying to for this much luck. I mean, no revisions, man. That's living the dream. I don't think that I've ever had a client project with no revisions. I would not be wearing that merit badge. As an Eagle Scout, you're 100% there for the merit badge project. Nice. Yeah, that's in the backlog. I think that might be the next thing I work on in my evening hours. I see comments in Twitch better because I always forget to switch over to multi-stream. That being said, like YouTube is really quiet. Yeah, all the commands are there. I need help. I'm in danger. Yeah, it's I can pull the comment stream from Twitch easier to put it in this little comment frame. And that's why it's easier for me to see that. Yep. Denzel, thanks for the follow. Yeah, Stream Elements, man. I think it's one of the best services for like overlays and stuff, but man, like UX is suffering. JT Robinson, if you want to help, jump in Discord, shoot me a message. Yeah. And you can find that Discord link by typing in !Discord, I think. I hope. We'll see. Anna Lisboa, good afternoon. Good to see you. Hey Trax, thank you for the follow. Hey Ahmed. Setting up your alert box in Stream Elements is my worst nightmare. What was the first indicator that showed you that your teammate can do launches on his own? So Mark has been in a leadership role in various ways in the company. So I've seen the way that he runs teams and stuff like that. So I've kind of seen firsthand. The other thing is like, I've worked with him for 3 or 4 years and I know that he's squared away. I know that he's like, he gets things done. And I know that like his organization is top notch, which you need, because the way that we do launches, you know, it may not seem too crazy on the outside, but we're active on every single social media platform and we have to hit every single social media platform. And that means images and copy and text, promotions, ad budgets. Like launches are pretty complex. So the organization was really huge, but it just took a long time for me to systemize this, like the approach that I was doing, and then create a template. I actually created a template for launches on Notion for the team to follow, and trained him up on one, and then he's been running things for the year, and it's been successful, which is the key, right? Because you know, if they don't work, then what are we doing? So that's the journey that Mark took. When I learn how to Discord, I will join. It's just like Slack. It's not a huge thing. You can also ping me on Slack. Yeah, you do have to go into each individual event and set up colors and fonts and sizing for alerts. Just want a global setting. I think you can make the creative globally, but Grace Lemming, thank you for the follow. Steve Designs, thank you for the follow. Good morning from the UK. Hey, Naif. Z Counts, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. How do you make these live shows so entertaining? Well, first, thank you. I appreciate that. I try to do live working sessions, but it always seems to me that they end up being very boring. Okay, so this is my theory on this. Today's probably gonna be boring. I'm a little worried about today because the entertainment is the commentary on top of things. And you guys will notice, like, I'm recording every single one of my streams for a reason, because I'm hoping to get more comfortable as time goes on. The thing that's entertaining is the commentary. And being able to riff on things and have fun and look at a site and have a reaction, like being able to participate in that, that's what's entertaining. So it's like you have to have this almost meta layer going on in your head at all times to be able to like throw something on top of whatever you're doing. So that's challenging. It's hard to do. And I actually did a video game stream this weekend where I played and streamed, and that was even harder because that takes like double the amount of focus, incredibly. So I think that it's like this weird balance, yeah. And Seiki's right. If you're enjoying it, we all enjoy it. And the thing is that like you guys make the stream. Seriously, you really, really do. Because if there's no interaction, it's like I start sweating. Like, and the other thing too is that like one thing I've learned working with Chris, and one thing I've learned, and maybe not something that I've learned from Chris, but working alongside Chris and being in front of the camera for so long, is like you have emotions, right? Everybody experiences emotions, but we don't always exude them. And so in front of the camera, you actually have to like project your emotions. And it feels weird to start. Like if you knew me in real life, my tone would be a lot lower. My variation in pitch would be a lot more limited. And so I've learned that like if I'm happy, like I need to smile and I need to like be excited and stuff like that. So it's just an interesting learning curve that you kind of have to do by, you know, streaming and then watching your recording, you know, and doing it again and suffering through the watching yourself squirm on camera. Nobody's talking in the chat. Am I doing something wrong? Yeah. Hey, Brian. Good to see you. Yeah, it's definitely a unique experience streaming. But I've found that like there's a big difference between streaming and creating recorded content, because like recorded content is more like a speech. Like you get up on stage, you do your bit, and then you get down. Whereas streaming is more of a conversation, and it's really just that like back and forth that that matters, you know. See, I forgot about YouTube again. Let's go over here. Hey, John. Yeah, Seiki, I've noticed that you have a couple of people that are like really, really engaged, which is great. Yeah, and that's the thing, is discoverability on Twitch is terrible, so you really just want to pull people in. That's why I, send out a tweet, put out Instagram stories most days. Yeah. Jordan, you guys are going to be co-host on YouTube? I switched over to multi-chat so I can see your stuff now. Has anyone at the Future created a kit to create social media strategy for a client? No, we haven't. That's a interesting idea. Mod hat allows me to be more active, but it'll be a marathon. That's funny. Hey, Anton. Okay. All right. So we've been talking for a while now. What time is it? It's almost 11. Oh my gosh, we got to get to work. All right, so here's the deal for today. We are going to be doing some focus sprints, and there's a reason for this. In this whole like website process, I've finished all of the creative research that I'm going to do for this project. And now we're kind of on the brink of design. And before I design, I want to make sure that I have all of the copy written. And there's a reason for that. The play between the copy and the layout is probably the trickiest balance to achieve when you're working in web. If the copy comes first, it's going to dictate parts of the layout. If the layout comes first, then who knows what's going to happen to the copy. And sometimes you're writing fluff to fill a space that you designed that looks cool when you don't really even need it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wireframes And then I'm also going to take just a blank Notion page, and I'm just going to start writing. I have no formula for this. I'm not the greatest writer in the world. I'm just going to flow and kind of see how it goes. But the thing is that like me writing is super boring. And instead of making this kind of like an entertainment-based stream or an educational-based stream, this today is going to be the first co-working, like full-on co-working stream that we're going to do. I'm going to turn the music up. We're going to set a timer for 30 minutes. I want everybody to put their goal for that 30 minutes in the chat, and then we're going to get to work. If you need something to work on, let me know. One of the ideas that came up in Discord was that we could do like design challenges where you guys like tackle something all together and then post it in Discord for review. So I could like kind of create something off the top of my head for you guys to do. But I think that like it'd be more effective if we actually use this time to get work done together. All right, so Paul Hendricks, you guys are hired. Yep. Anton, hello. Christian, hello. Oh, John, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, Khalil, I love that you're chatting. Please do. Not irritating at all. It's oxygen, honestly, really. All right, so Seiki says I usually go wireframe, Notion, Hi-Fi, and then Webflow. Yep, that's the process. Oh, you actually create a Notion page for the website and then inside put a page for each page? That's smart. Yeah, so you're kind of navigating it. Cool. All right, so do I go in order? Like, okay, now I'm writing something about my story and then we'll write something for my now page, or just random? I don't know. It's when writing for like client stuff, it's a little different because I usually am working with a copywriter who presents a structure and then we riff on what they give me. This one, it's just me. So I think I'm just going to start with the story page because I know my story, it's me. So I'm going to start there and then you know, kind of branch out to everything else. Khalil, that might be something that you could do today, is to create a Notion account and start riffing. Seiki's gonna get in trouble with that auto mod. I don't know how to turn that off during stream, but I'll figure it out after. Is Seiki not a mod? I thought he was a mod. Okay, so what I'd love for you guys to do is let's commit to one thing for the next 30 minutes. For me, I'm gonna get the outline for my story page done, and then probably 2 sections. And a section is like, probably is gonna follow my career path. So first draft of the outline and then 2 sections written in Notion. So what are you guys gonna get done? Thank you, Doritos Chip. I need to successfully handle a payment status request. Cool, that's a good 30-minute goal. You know, you want to kind of trim these down. If you have more space at the end, you can always do more, but you want to make sure that this little thing is achievable. All right, you're going to set up your flowchart for one of our processes in Figma, set up the components and a rough outline of how the flow will work. Okay, cool. Denzel's going to set up a timeline for a project. Nice. Okay, good. Designscape. Hey, Khalil, you got your first paying customer. Man, congrats, guys. Throw them some emojis in the chat. We got to celebrate this. That's a Wednesday win right there. First paying customer. Congrats, man. Oi, Tokyo, good morning. Good job. Man, Khalil, I'm pumped for you. Nicely done. Start writing from some copy for your proposal template. Good job, Giovanni. Let's put a concrete wrapper on this. What are you gonna get done? Woo woo. I love that. Thanks, guys. It's good to celebrate wins in the community. Neon Waffle hopping in today again. Just watched Building a Brand. Enjoying all the content. Thanks. I appreciate that. All right. It's good, man. It's Khalil, the first paying client, is like tip of the iceberg, but good job. That's a big one. That's a big win for a Wednesday. All right, so we've got our goals in the chat. If you haven't posted one, you know, you should, because you're here. Well, what else are you gonna do? You know, like throw it in the chat, dude. Do that. All right, I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to. Let's see. I'm gonna switch you over to full screen, and then, nope, not that one. That one's cool though. Do this here. So I've got my wireframes up. I've got my inspiration up, and start a new album. I'm gonna turn the volume up a little bit for the music, and we'll start a timer. Okay, let's see if I can figure out how to like position this window here. Mods, you know what we need to do? We need to figure out how to do a timer overlay in OBS. Maybe later, huh? Okay, so I zoomed in on this. Feels ridiculous to be looking at this screen, but okay. Everybody ready to start? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're ready. I'm gonna start this timer. Now, when we're done, we're gonna come back around and see if we met the goals that we set forward, and then we'll do something different. I have a couple of critiques to do today, so if you do want to get something critiqued, put it in the Discord. We'll go for it. All right. Hey, Horton, good to see you. First minutes will be organizing the day. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, we ready? All right, so I'm gonna be quiet. Here we go. Starting. Good morning, Chris. Doing a focus sprint right now. That's it. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go back here, talk about it. Whew, okay, that was a little intense. My goodness. Ugh. How'd you guys do? Pencils down. How's the music? Is it okay? I turned it back down. All right, so my goal was to put an outline together for the My Story page and then knock out a first draft of the 2 first sections, which I did. So I'm stoked for that. Yeah, I kept looking at the chat, man. And then Chris popped in for the first time on stream on YouTube. You guys on Twitch missed that, but like, yeah, Chris was hanging out. Yeah, so I got the goal done. It's a first draft. It's rough. But I think that like the biggest thing with this is to just, especially when you're writing, like first draft, you just got to get the garbage out on page. Like it's a bunch of clay that's in your head, and you just have to like put that out on the surface so that you can work it, you know? So, all right. So remind me what your goal was, and then let me know if you accomplished it. I got to get Chris on Twitch. That'd be cool. Yeah. This whole thing kind of started out. So let me give you guys some like a frame of reference of what this is. So obviously we're on every major social media platform there is. And Twitch was kind of the only one that we weren't experimenting with. And so when this sponsorship opportunity came up with Webflow, I wanted to do this and to share the journey, but I knew that like the videos on YouTube, you know, even though there are 6 or 7 videos that we're doing, they can only be 6, 7, 8, 12 minutes long. You know, they can't show the hours that it takes to put these things together. And so I was like, you know, let's jump on live stream and do this. And these long live streams are not the greatest for the YouTube algorithm. So I was like, okay, well, let me just start a Twitch and let me throw this up on my personal YouTube. And it did destroy the algorithm, like destroyed my personal YouTube, but my subs went like, they were kind of up here and then they just went boo down as soon as I started live streaming. But what I wanted to do was give people an opportunity to jump in and see the process as it happens. Because building a brand was great, but a lot of the comments were in reference to like, we didn't get to see everything. And so I was like, okay, well, what if we could just, you know, share the entire thing? Even though it's going to end up on the future as its own series, what if we could just bring people into the entire process? So that's where we are. Ray just thought a smoke alarm went off. That's funny. Pencils down. Yep. Hey, Alex. Hope you're getting some rest. Okay, so Franjo made some good notes after reading a chapter of the book. Nice. All right, so Denzel created the folder structure for the project instead of the timeline. Okay. All right. Yeah, Chris was in the wrong chat. Yeah. Jay got distracted. Was it when Chris popped in? Yeah, that's funny. The difference in audio quality in Twitch versus YouTube is big. Interesting. Yeah. Finishing the last wireframe for an Instagram layout grid for the customer, and I did. Thanks a lot for following. Thanks. Yeah. I feel like Twitch has a lot of untapped potential. It's great for long form content, great for stuff like this. You can cut content from Twitch and turn it into YouTube content as well. Yeah, I mean that's the whole point. And the thing is that like, I mean, this is the 3rd week that we've done this, and I'm starting to fall in love with the process. So. No, I doubt Chris is going to jump on Twitch. He's got all hands on deck towards Clubhouse right now, so he's exploding on that platform. Okay, so my experience with this, as far as writing in front of an audience, it's a little intimidating, to be honest. Yeah, it's one of those things where like, maybe it's perfectionism or something like that, but like you just want it to flow and you just want to come out of you fully formed, and that's not how it works. So there was a kind of a level of intensity that I'm not used to, but there's ink on the paper where there was none before. So I think that the first sprint was a success. How did you guys feel with the 30-minute sprint? Normally, like, I think it's the Pomodoro method. You're supposed to do something like 90 minutes and then walk around. Matthew did a great video about that, and it was really fascinating to see. So how did you guys feel with this timer? I hate that Clubhouse is not available for Android. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Horton, you saw that video? Yeah, it's great. It really is great. Elitist stuff. I don't know that it's, I don't think that the intent is to be elitist. Yeah. It makes us focus in a really weird way. Yeah, having that timer on you is really interesting. The only time I can sit down for more than 90 minutes is when I'm in zone with zero distractions. All other times I have to stand up. Yeah. So, Leswent, we are cutting those down, and they're going on YouTube. So, I think we published one yesterday or the day before yesterday. That was a role play with Mo and Chris, and it's a great video, and it was a Clubhouse session. So the cool thing about that is they're recording themselves on video on Zoom so that you can actually see them talking versus just listening. So we're figuring it out. It's just this new thing that, we're kind of riding the hype train. But it's also like, if you can think of like the way that Chris likes to create content and teach, it's perfect for him. I think you need an invite to join Horton. My daughter is calling me. Hi. Yeah, hi. You want to see the people? Okay, there we go. There they are. Say hi. Are we a dog? Are you turning? Okay. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go. Say bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. What a goofball. Yeah. Yeah, she's cute. Okay, so Scott, you enjoyed it. Helped to focus and speed up. Got through several videos on my first JavaScript course. Nice. Okay, cool. When the phone rings, you gotta answer it, right? Like that's part of being Father of the Year, 5 years running. Okay, cool. So as far as the stream goes, like I know that there's some positive feedback. I did notice viewership went down, which is totally fine. I think that like there's normal attrition going on and stuff like that. What do you think? Should we do another one? Or should we move on to something else? Because we have wireframes to tweak, but let me know what you think. We can do it one more time. I got one more sprint in me. I think I got the jitters out. Is that an official title? Yeah, 5 years running, man. Uncontested. Yeah, it is understandable. Like the entertainment value of those sprints goes ways down, and it's difficult to join mid-sprint when there's like just literally music and text on the screen. So, yeah. It's okay. Nice. Cool, Ahmed. Denzel, you want to do another one? Cool. Oh, nice. Scott, working in Webflow. Cool. Learning JavaScript to do more with custom code. Yeah. Tricks is incredible. F and Sweet, they talk a little bit over my head sometimes. So I haven't like really immersed myself in their content, but Tim's a great guy. All right, so we're gonna do one more. So in true Pomodoro fashion, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a couple of minutes. Need everybody to stand up, walk around, get a glass of water, just kind of get refreshed, and then we'll go right back into our sprint. So Cornelius, what we're doing is we're doing writing sprints. Well, I'm doing writing sprints. You guys can do whatever you want. But when we get back, what I want you to do is put your goal in the chat, just like we did before, and get to work. So I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back, and see you in a minute. right. Let's pull another album, shall we? Viking metal. Yeah, I wish. You know what's funny is that like I don't know why, but I had this idea that you could play copyright music on Twitch streams before, you know, getting into these, and it's just like it's a no-go for sure. But I had a whole playlist of the music that I actually listen to when I'm not streaming down tempo stuff. Yeah, Ahmed, I'm working on a little plugin that'll tell you what music I'm playing. Yeah, the risk of getting the whole channel banned all of a sudden is way too high. Yeah, I have a playlist on Apple Music. I think it's like MrBenBurns streaming or something like that. It's got like 80 or 100 songs in it. And you guys are welcome to find that, but that's the music that I'm into. I'll show you here. Where is it? Right here. MrBenBurns on stream. So it's got the like stuff that I actually listen to here if you want to go for that. I wish Apple Music was more like Spotify. Don't tell anybody I said that. But pretty much all the music that you're hearing on stream is from Harris Heller. He's got some great stuff. It's all copyright free, which is awesome. Popping at 6.5 bit rate, going to 63 FPS. Interesting. Mike's better than yesterday. Good. Okay, good. I turned that down a little bit. Hey, Rich, thank you for the follow. All right, that's the last of the coffee. We've moved into the seltzer realm. The seltzer of the day is Good and Gather Ginger Peach. Which is pretty good. Not as good as the mango one yesterday. All right. No, it's not only on Apple. It's on every major streaming platform. It's a great idea. And matter of fact, I'm working with my brother on some music that we can do the same thing with. We can do a couple more questions before we jump into our another focus sprint. Nine Raison had a conversation yesterday about day rates. When is a day rate viable over a flat price, like how the future teaches? I think a day rate is viable for any kind of freelancing. So like if you're working with another agency, really like you want to try for flat rate because that puts the control of your time in your hands. But the nice thing about having a day rate is that like no matter what, you're getting paid for the time that you're putting into the job. So if you're bad about estimating the time that it's going to take you to finish something, or if it's totally unknown and there's no way to estimate it, then having a day rate is a good option. I actually like to have monthly sprints. So it's like instead of a day rate, it's like a month rate where you're charging for the month. Some people call this retainers, but if you look at it like a sprint instead of like charging for time, you can limit the number of deliverables that happen in that month. Maybe it's like X amount of rounds of revisions or something like that. And that's a better way to like predict your revenue. I'm not digging this album. Let's go to the White Album. Right, exactly. So Stream Beats is available on every platform. My playlist is only available on Apple Music. Wish I had a donut. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That's not the goal with this. Like, the goal is really just to grow community here. Maybe someday. Who knows? Anyone in chat, please feel free to answer as well. Oh, as a starting designer, what's a good rough estimate? It depends. I would price the client, not the job. I would price the client, not your skill set. If you're confident in what you do, you can charge whatever the client will pay for. So as long as the value systems kind of line up, then you're good. Hey, Shodell, El Shodell, thank you for the follow. Let's went. I don't know. I don't think a designer has an inherent value. Like, I don't think that like a designer in Chile or a designer in Afghanistan has any lesser value than someone who's in Los Angeles. I think that like you're exposed to more clients who have a higher value system, have a higher like value structure, but I don't think it's not like a gallon. It's not like a gallon of gas, you know? It's not like your location determines what you're worth. So in these situations, like in countries that have historically like not appreciated designers, we've just given the advice of like branching out and going to a different geographic location, not physically, but for your customers, or just focusing on the 1% of clients, of people in your area that are wealthy enough and that do have that same value system, you know, attached to design. And it's like that in the States too. You know, you'd think that Atlanta would be, you know, a hotbed. And I can promise you, because I've worked for clients out of Atlanta, that, you know, there are people out there that are only wanting to pay $10 an hour or $5 an hour. So it just depends on finding the clients that match the value system that you carry and looking for alignment there versus trying to convince or things like that. Yeah, exactly. It's where the client is. Yeah. We can get super deep on that stuff. But that's not what today is. Today is focus sprints on writing. Okay, so put your goals in the chat. Let me know what you're going to do in the next 30 minutes. We're going to start in 2 minutes. Let's see how it goes. If we bomb, if this is just something that doesn't work, we don't have to do it. And we'll just do some other things. But I'm going to try it one more time. Yeah. Chat monitoring again. Thanks, A. I appreciate that. Oh, I'm not going to let you guys off the hook. You got to put those goals in the chat. If you're going to participate, let's do it. Mod hat is on. Okay, brainstorm 2 or 3 carousel ideas. That's a great one. And I would encourage you to sketch them out. Grab some paper. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I live and die by my notebooks, and the best notebooks that I've found, and I'm just riffing. This is me just riffing until you guys put your goals in the chat, by the way. The best notebooks that I've found have been these dot grid ones from Baron Fig. They are awesome. This size is like, it's great. And I live and die by this thing. Like, you know, this is me planning out my ultimate streaming setup here. This is when my baby got a hold of it. which is equally or more valuable than everything else. But Bear and Fig, like the paper quality, it's amazing. Yeah, it's worth a Google. Okay, what do we got? Working on a goal set for a personal project I'm planning, so I'll refine and add that. Okay, great. Good. Jialing. Oh, good to see you. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Welcome. All right, so let's see. I'm just not scrolling. Franjo, enjoy the webinar. We'll see you next time. All right, let's get started. I am going to turn the volume up here. All right, so my goals are to finish, let's see, 1, 2, 3 more sections. We got post no bills, we got the police era, and we got the startup era. Oh, that might be a tall order. I'm gonna cut my goal a little bit. I'm gonna go 2 sections. 2. All right, you ready? Let's get to work. Timer is starting now. Damn it, A. You caught me. that was it. Oh my gosh. Got lost in that one. I hit the flow state on that one. Okay, let's do this here. How'd everybody do? Let's cut that music back down. Oh man. That was a good one. I felt really good about that. Like, I got into the flow state. I was like kind of living back in that era. I probably wrote way too much, but at least there's a lot of stuff to shape now. I'm kind of digging this for myself. I don't know if it's like the most popular thing on stream, but man, this is this was good for me. It's good for me. So let's go back up to chat and see what you guys are saying. Hey, Anna Lisboa. Good to see you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Empress. If you're still in the chat, I'm not writing a novel. I'm actually writing copy for my personal website. And this is I guess, my story page or about me page kind of thing. So I'm just kind of walking people through my career, my crazy, insane career. Lessoint, thank you for responding to people. And I appreciate it, man. Thank you for being such a good good mod. Jolling immediately wants to build a keyboard. That's great. That's great. Man, so people had good meetings. That's awesome. Good conversation about creative direction and defiance in the chat over on Twitch. For those of you guys on YouTube, just wanted to let you know that I'm streaming on Twitch as well. Hey Denny, good to see you. I'm glad that you guys like that ASMR. I never thought that would be like the thing, but hey, if it works, that's great. Oh man, when you land a UX role, you're gonna ball out on a custom key. You should. You should. As a matter of fact, I would recommend just something simple like this, like a 5-degree case. So this has creams on it. It's filthy. Sorry about that. But this entire build, excluding the keycaps, was maybe $220. So it's a great way for that like middle tier where you still get like the aluminum case. And yeah, this is a solid one. I'm a big fan of this. So I think it's a 5-degree case by KP Republic, and then you just get the right kind of PCB. Base 10. I'm a designer considering getting into law enforcement. Can I ask why did you stop law enforcement? So it was a combination of things. The first is I started freelancing, so I worked my way up to a narcotics agent. We were running wiretaps, and while I was in the wiretap room waiting for the phone to ring, I was freelancing. Like, I was doing $50 logos. We were actually renovating a house at that point, and I was just trying to make extra money so that I could buy flooring and 2x4s. So then the freelance career kind of took off. Like, it was right at the advent of Upwork and Fiverr and some of those other things, and I was on Upwork or Odesk. I forget what it was in those days. And it just took off. I started making more money doing that than policing. And it was one of those things where that happened at the same time that I slowly began to realize that, like, when you're in law enforcement, the way that law enforcement is like currently structured in this ecosystem, something breaks. Like, and I kind of boil it down to three things. Either your mind breaks, like I've had several friends in the law enforcement world commit suicide. I've had friends like just kind of go off the deep end just because they're exposed to so much horrible things day after day. And then, your body, either your back is going to give out because you're carrying so much weight on you all day, every day, or, you get hurt fighting or doing, the police officers are not trained well enough, in my opinion. And they put themselves in situations physically where they shouldn't be. So mind breaks, body breaks, or the third and probably most frequent is your marriage breaks. The work day of a law enforcement officer is insane. Working swings, working nights, the shifts are long. You come home and you've been dealing with people, the worst of people, all day long, and you kind of have to leave that on the street and then come home and be a family man. So I just wasn't willing to give that up. And so when I kind of saw those two things, and then I guess the third thing was that, I began to see through this whole black and white nature or black and white perspective that a lot of police have on culture, on crime. And I began to see patterns, like, drug dealers, most of, unless they're, in the higher upper echelon, most of them were just business people. They're trying to make ends meet. So I began to become a little bit disillusioned with the actual career. So all those three things kind of happened all at once. And then it was just a kind of the stars aligned where I had this other path that I could take, and I jumped ship. Yeah. And I don't want to like make it sound like police are victims here or anything like that. That's totally not the point of this. I think that, like, we do need to recognize that the training that these kids are getting, sometimes hitting the streets at 18, 19 years old is just not enough. It's inadequate to deal with, people with mental health issues and all this kind of stuff. And I can say that from experience because I spent 5 years as one. So I don't want to make it sound like, it's a terrible career, because it's not, but you just have to constantly evaluate your mental health, your physical health, and the health of your marriage throughout that entire career, because it's really easy to get dragged down. So yeah. And I'm happy to give you more. I just, it's one of those things where, like, right now it's a minefield out there. Like, this is the first time I've actually spoken publicly about this stuff. So I've been hesitating to do that, but I have a pretty comprehensive blog written about my opinions about police reform and stuff like that. So I'll step into the fire, I guess. I got deep, guys. Sorry about that. Jeez. I appreciate that, Boy Tokyo. Thanks. You're not going to say the cliche phrase. Do it, say it. I appreciate that. Yeah. And I want to talk more about it. It's just, I've taken, literally this year has been quite transformative for me. And I've taken some time to, like, just evaluate my opinions about this stuff. And, I think I'm ready to start sharing now that my thoughts are kind of in order. Yeah, no problem. All right, so I think it's going to be time for some critique. Yeah? Let me know. I don't want to, like, pull out of this deep nosedive into something that's, like, like crazy, but or super light. But I think it's time to do that, because I promised that I would. But like I said, I'm an open book when it comes to this stuff, so please definitely just ask me anything. I'm happy to answer questions about my law enforcement days or design days or a time with the crazy amazing Chris. Now I need to hop in a client meeting. All right, well, cool. Anna Lisboa, thank you. We'll see you later. All right, so let me jump into Discord here. Okay. Okay, so this is Franjo. Is Franjo, are you in the chat? I think you had to leave. That sucks. Let's see. So Travis in the chat is super active. He's one of the mods in Discord. Franjo, let me know if you're still in the chat, because if not, I want to wait, because I like to do these critiques where it's a two-way street. Horton, you're back. Behind on stuff. Which is worse, getting tased or pepper sprayed? Pepper spray by like leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds. All right, so he's not here. Anybody else have anything that they want me to review? Or instead of saying it's a critique, we could just say that, like, I can help you out. If you wanna post something, I can weigh in on things. So if you're in the Discord, go ahead and throw it in this critique requests channel and go from there. Boy Tokyo, I don't care. Let's whatever you need help with. I can review any web design. I think it's best to focus on like something for the web. If you have print or branding, I've done it before. I've led those teams. I've created, directed it, so I could probably help. But as far as the stream goes, web design is probably best. Join the Discord. There's a command. Just hit exclamation Discord in the chat. This is another experiment that I've been toying around with for the future, because Slack is starting to reduce the amount of people that we can let in at any given point. So I was like, I wonder what it would be to start a future Discord instead of a Slack. And I think we're gonna go with Circle for our alumni groups, but this is a really handy way to like pull people in a voice chat on stream. So yeah, throw it in the critique requests. And don't be scared. I'm a teddy bear when it comes to this stuff. Maybe. You've been struggling with the creative direction for your own site. It's real. It's real. Oh boy, Tokyo, you want voice? Can't really do that right now. Oh, it's okay. Go ahead and post the work. We'll take a look. We'll deal with the latency. I just want to start doing this on a regular basis, because I feel like having an external voice is always helpful. All right, so boy Tokyo, I got the message, and go ahead and give me some context in the chat. Give all of us some context in the chat. Oh, nice. Edgar and Michael are jumping in too. I tell you what, the first person to head into the waiting room here that wants to join some voice will get the critique. Got a question. The future being all in favor of free education. Why not more giveaways from your courses? That's something we've been talking about. I think that like instead of looking at it like we're asking for money for courses and it going against our mission, the way that we like to kind of frame our pricing is you're getting an art center education, which is upwards of $100,000 per year for a couple $100. And so it's less about making all education free and more making all education accessible by people. And so we have some scholarships in place for people who are in developing countries, for example. And, we put so much out on YouTube that, like, if you have the time, instead of money, if you have time, you can comb through that and really pull that. Yeah. Oh, Matthew will still be around. Yeah, he'll still be on the channel and stuff like that. So. Chelor is like, the struggle is definitely real when it comes to the personal branding, for sure. Okay, cool. All right, so we'll go with Boy Tokyo because I don't see anybody in the waiting room. Michael and Edgar, if you want to jump in on audio and just hang out in the waiting room here, I can jump in and we can have a chat. But in the meantime, we'll go with Boy Tokyo's stuff. All right, so we're working in Adobe XD, and he says this is for a nonprofit who is fighting to save red pandas in Nepal, which is really cool. So they need a new website, modernized, clean, and focused. So we're looking at a desktop version, right? Let's see, so we've got index. Okay, cool. Okay, so in order to critique this, I need to know what you need help with, or what you're struggling with at this point, or what are you looking for when it comes to a critique? Because a lot of this stuff can be really bland feedback if it's not directed towards something. So let me know in the chat what you're looking for. I'd say, like, right off the bat, having a sticky nav is a great call. I like that all of the navigation is exposed. The copy, or the typography is pretty nice. There's some good hierarchy here. I would say that the way that you have the breakpoint here, so the breakpoint is also known as the fold for you guys who are new. And I would say the fold is a little bit of outdated term because it depends on the aspect ratio of the screen. But the intent here is that there's an item below here that's drawing the scroll down. But I think that, like, we may have too much space in this area that's not going to attract that scroll. And so I'm wondering, like, since you've got these cool overlays, I'm wondering if we can maybe even pull that up farther so that there's maybe, like, this little dude's eye kind of shows through, so that when that user hits the main nav, they're gonna want to scroll to see the rest of that picture, because this might not be enough. Like, it looks like it could be a design element there. Yeah, and this is a great strategy to use. So the other thing is that, like, there's a lot going on in terms of colors and textures and type and imagery and illustration. And so I would recommend maybe simplifying it and not playing all of your cards at once. If that makes sense. So, like, for example, in this nav bar, it's really cool. Like, I like the pattern, and I like that these two things are your call to action buttons. But I'm wondering if, like, this pattern would be better used, somewhere else, where on scroll, the entire nav bar is like an element versus two separate things. Because it just feels like a lot. Like, the other thing is, whenever we're looking at, like, a home page and that initial call to action, you want to simplify things down as much as possible and give the user one single action to do for every screen that they're looking at. And so right now I'm seeing 3 primary calls to action. You got adopt a panda, make a donation, and then explore how. And if I were to tackle this like right away, I think that the explore how is one of those things where like that could probably live down in the hierarchy, and we could simplify things by just saying adopt a panda, because that's probably going to be the biggest driver for donations, is somebody wants to adopt a specific panda, and then you get to see the cute little fluffy face, and that's your panda, right? So we could simplify this down to just have a menu over here and then adopt a panda, and then this copy can change to say something like help us lead the fight to save red pandas. So I think simplifying would be good. And you can see here, there's the pattern again. So it's just a lot going on. Like my eye doesn't really know where to land. Like the hierarchy is a little bit unclear. So I think that could help. The layouts are cool. Like I like the little section areas that you have here. There might be the way that I'm looking at this is like, if your client is not dictating the information architecture, the way that the information is like structured on the page, I would recommend, if there's more videos, like make a carousel with all the videos that you can. Because a link that says more videos is going to be less effective than just putting the videos on the page, you know? So you could do something like we did with the future, where we have all the videos in one carousel that you can scroll through. And then, you know, this can be used farther down somewhere else. So here's what I'm saying. Like you could see the tone, the style of all the visuals is wild. Like we've got this kind of subdued gray on black pattern here. The black pattern shows up here. There's like a kind of a ethereal, subtle, serene toned photograph here and here. And then we get down here and it starts getting a little crazy. So I'm just not sure. I'm not getting a single vibe from this page, and that's the biggest issue that I'm finding right now. And then the other thing too is, if you're writing this, one strategy that I like to do after you've kind of like word vomited all over the page is to just read the headlines and see if the narrative makes sense. So it's like, leading the fight to save red pandas. Since 2007, why save the red pandas? So your narrative structure on your headlines could use some work. And I know most of us in this stream are designers and not copywriters, but I think that like that's a great way to say, is someone who skims this page going to really get a lot out of it? Okay. So that's that section. And then this final section here. Why save the red pandas? Unique, important, endangered. Learn more. So I'm assuming that this is like a tab system, but they don't look like tabs. And so there's a concept in UX, and I'm gonna butcher it, but heuristics. Heuristics are things that users are used to seeing elsewhere, and they are it's almost the way that we navigate the world in general. Like we don't evaluate every single stop sign we come to as, oh, what does this mean? It's red, it's a hexagon, or an octagon? Hexagon? What? Anyway, we don't evaluate these things as we come to them. We don't like fully analyze every single thing. It's just like we see a stop sign and we know that this means stop. And so with tab systems, like I think if we actually made this a tab system, it'd be a little bit more, it would play into the user's pre-patterned way of interacting with this thing. So I would just recommend tying these two things together, because I'm thinking that the idea is that, yeah, you click this and then this content changes. And then the other thing is that, like, why hide the text? You know, I think that, like, this is a home page. They're gonna scroll through this anyway, so there's really no reason to hide this text behind something, because 99% of the users are not going to click it, even if it looks like tabs. There's no reason to, especially if it's only one sentence with a learn more link, you know. And then on that, I would recommend evaluating every time you want to type learn more or more. Maybe reword that into something like see why red pandas are endangered. I want to hook them a little bit with the content in the link CTA. So yeah, I wouldn't hide this content under something. It's important. I think it's far more important than the illustration. If that makes sense. Okay, and then the other thing, and this is the last part. Here's a little bit on the grid, right? So we've got this spine that the entire content of the site is kind of lining up with, except this piece, which is cool as a graphic element, and this piece here kind of hangs off. So I'm not sure what the purpose of this spine is. You know, I think that like if there were navigation elements in here or something that like stayed static throughout the whole site, it would make more sense to reserve this area, even if it was just like a logo up here and then a menu link in the center. But I'm not sure why we're being precious about this area, like what you know, what that purpose is. So okay, go back to the chat here. Okay, Boy Tokyo has a great question. Okay, what's the question? Yeah, so when you're writing those headlines, it helps just to read them all, and it's something that we need to work better on the future site too. So, does the future have a way to gift courses? Not really. No, that would be really cool. Oh, okay. So what would be a good process to do a fast and dirty site when you have 2 days to come back with, say, 5 pages? I would just say, like, for 2 days, you're probably going to want to like throw up a 12 column grid and just not stretch. Like, go with what you know. It's going to be a safe design, but it's literally like, you know, use your 12 columns, you know, whether you're following a bootstrap format or you know, something else. I think it's important to just like to get the work out. It's like pushing boundaries and trying new things. Like working with spaces like this would drive me crazy if I had to get this squared away in 2 days. So I would just go with like standard stuff. Logo up in the upper left, navigation in the upper right, full width header, maybe like a 2 column layout down below under that, and just not push the bounds. And there's a couple of wireframing kits out there that I could recommend. I'll put them in Discord that I've found, and they kind of lend towards that really standard 12 column web design that's out there kind of everywhere. And you could throw a site together with that, where you just pull those modules into place and then you style everything with typography and imagery and colors. So it's less about trying to make this kind of custom layout, more about making something super clean that's on brand. So I hope that makes sense. But I wouldn't go from ground up. You know, I wouldn't go from the sketch pad. I would work off of something. Hope that helps. All right, let's see what else. Can't do audio right now. Okay. All right, so I don't know who was first, John L. Person or Michael Hostick. Let's try this real quick. Michael, you're coming in. How do we do this? How do we move people? There it is. Move to stream chat. I'm gonna jump in here. Michael, can you hear me?
Hello.
Nice. All right, let me turn your volume up.
I cannot.
Okay, hold on one second.
Looks like you're muted in Discord.
How about that? Can you hear me now?
Hear you.
Right on. Okay, what are we looking at?
So this is just a quick sort of mock-up of a logo that I did in CodePen for mine and Travis's website. This is kind of spur of the moment thing, so I don't have a whole lot to critique, and I can make it so that it doesn't disappear at the end of the animation there.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me I'm gonna share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Wait, no, that's not it. Change. This is like the second time that we've done this, guys. This is crazy. All right. Okay, you should be able to see that now.
Yep.
Sweet. Discord is great for this stuff. All right, can you make it visible? I need to refresh, huh?
Yeah, if you just refresh, you can kind of see the animation that happens. The idea is that it'll persist at the end of that animation. Reason it's not doing that right now, but the idea was to throw it into the hero of our homepage. It's for a digital marketing agency.
Very cool.
Called Digital Foundry Media, and we're kind of conceptualizing having it appear from a gradient in the background of the hero, and that gradient would be all of the different colors in the squares, and so the squares would sort of pop out of that gradient and then animate over into that shape, and then that gradient in the background would probably just fade to a solid color of some sort, and then you'd have sort of our hero text on the right hand side.
This is cool.
And then also that it's just made to be responsive and be able to be dumped anywhere on the website, so it could be in the header, the footer, wherever we kind of want to brand.
All right, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this real quick so we can have it.
I can turn the animation off on it.
No, I really do like the animation. Okay, so the logo is DF, right? It's kind of like a combination.
Yeah, we were trying to kind of grab the DF, and then we kind of conceptualized that it could be almost an infinity loop.
This is cool. I didn't get like
on the left and the right don't necessarily mean anything. It just kind of fit and made it look interesting.
Yeah.
There's no real design decision behind it, I don't think.
Well, it lends a little bit of symmetry, and the thing that I'm getting from this is like pixels. So that's pretty rad. As far as like the shape and stuff goes, I think it's cool. I really do. The combination of D and F turned as a diamond shape, and then it's made out of these diamonds. That's really neat. I like the gradient too. The thing about it is that like if we turned it back black and white, would it be a strong mark? Like that's the question that we need to answer. And in my opinion, I think it would be. I would also probably want to do a quick Google search of like DF monograms just to make sure, because this is probably a popular shape. But I think that the saving grace is like the kind of grid layout that you have made out of like pixels.
Yeah, all good points. I don't think Travis is the one who kind of conceptualized it in a very early version of the Illustrator.
Yeah.
And then I've just kind of taken it and thrown it in a little bit of code quickly.
Dude, I don't have anything terrible to say about this. Like if you notice when you get down to a certain size, I kind of expected like things to start disappearing. And I think that like at small sizes, you probably want to shift your color either to a solid color or to including brighter gradients, because on my screen at least, and depending on how you guys are looking at this, like the darker pinks and the darker blues start to disappear a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a solid mark. So I go for it, man. I'm pretty pumped for you. The only thing that weirded me out in the beginning was like the beveled edges or the rounded edges on each pixel point, and I don't know why that bothered me, but it was just like, that's kind of weird. But as they kind of expanded, maybe it was because they started so rounded and then they grew.
Yeah,
so maybe it was like the animation
of a rounded corner on it that when it starts real small, it starts out as sort of a circle, and then it becomes that sort of squircle.
Yeah.
So to speak, that I think iOS termed that.
Yeah. No, like I said, in its full like size, I'm a fan. I think it's pretty cool, and it's amazing that you just did this in all CSS. And
yeah, that was something that I tried hard to kind of.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's great.
Keep it in that realm so that it'd be really lightweight. I was just in there trying to make it so that persist.
Yeah. So if you, I went ahead and refreshed, and it looks like it's static now, and like the rounded edges are probably 100%.
Yeah,
even that looks pretty good. I actually kind of like the circles better, to be honest.
I was kind of torn as I was coding it. It did that, and I was like, that's not too bad either.
Yeah, I think for me to give it like a full critique, we probably would want to see it with the logo type or the actual name of the business, because on first glance, I don't know that anybody's going to get the F from this, but when you pair it with that logo type, it'll probably come through. But as far as using this for like a favicon or a favicon or an icon on the site, like I like it. I have no suggestions. I think it's pretty solid.
Go ahead and refresh your page real quick.
Sure.
And then you'll see it without the rotation, and then back to the rounded corner squares. So we were also playing with it that way too. We weren't entirely sure if we wanted to rotate it into that diamond or leave it on its sort of base. Yeah, it's obviously a little bit easier to get the DF out of it this way.
Yep.
So we were kind of torn on which orientation we liked more.
I think at this point, what I would do is just bring it into mockups. Like seriously, throw it in some mockup templates and see how it goes. Take a look at it on a beer cap. Even though I know you're not going to be making beer, look at it in small scale on that. Like take a look at it on a phone screen as an app icon. Throw it in a billboard mockup just to see, because I think we're at that point where like shape wise, I think you're there. Like form, I think you're there. It's just, is this enough? That's the big question. And I think like now that I've had a chance to like look at the square version versus the diamond, I'm gonna say that the diamond, in my opinion, is a little stronger, because the square version, even though it's more legible, these little pockets that the rounded corners create are a little bit more distracting in this version for some reason.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm getting drawn more into the negative space that the icon creates versus the actual icon.
Yeah, I can see that.
Whereas, the diamond version, it didn't really happen on that, but it's pretty cool.
One thing I was kind of concerned about too is it's sort of that forget the proper name for it, but it's that optical illusion where you can see gray circles in the negative space between those. Yeah. And it kind of, on the right background and in this orientation, that happens to me. Like I can see that optical illusion popping a little bit. Yeah. Which probably isn't the greatest thing.
Yeah, I mean, if I were in your shoes, I would just be playing around with the corners, because from the beginning I've kind of marked those corners as something that I was questioning. I design by gut, guys. I'm familiar with principles. I've learned more principles in the years since working with Chris. But I design by gut, and my first initial reaction was a negative reaction towards the rounded corners on these little pieces. So that may be something to pursue. And then the other thing too is that like I expected in small sizes, and you're probably not going to be able to see the screen, but I expected this like the actual lines to disappear. And maybe it's my screen that's so nice because I'm looking at it on stream and it just totally disappears. But I expected those lines to like go away, but they don't. But I would also play around with maybe making the space in between the elements larger so that there's no risk of those gaps closing as the icon gets smaller. Yeah, that's it, man. I would say push it a little bit farther and you're there.
Awesome. Thanks.
Excuse you, I have a nice screen. Thanks, man. Hey, we got to play soon.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm giving you the boot. Let's see. Out of there into lobby. Okay, I think I got time for one more. So I believe John was in there. JTR, we'll grab you next time, okay? So let's do this here. Move to. Okay, if I hold shift, I'm supposed to be able to. Nope, it's control. It's Windows. Bam. John, can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Nice. You got a great mic.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, so.
Just mute my screen. Distracted.
So we're looking at your website, eh?
Yeah, that's right. Recently launched a new portfolio site and would love to get some feedback.
Very cool. Okay, so what's your craft?
So my craft is, I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. I mostly do branding work, both brand identity design and kind of brand messaging and strategy. I do also do quite a bit of web design though. So.
Gotcha. If you can bump your volume, I've got chat all the way up on my end. So let's see. I wonder if Discord has
a little
volume.
bit better?
Nope.
No?
Let's see.
How about now?
Cheers, Scott. Let's see. Yeah, that's better.
All right.
Okay. I just want to see if I can turn up the volume of the room. Nope. Right click his name. Okay. Stop. Nope. It's not him. Oh, user volume. I'm going to turn this up. Okay. Give me a test.
All right. Testing.
And one more.
Any better? Any better?
There we go. I think we're there.
All right.
I can hear you way better. Guys, you good?
Okay.
I'm gonna also turn the music down just a little bit. Good. Okay, good. Okay, so you're a jack of all trades. But right here it says brand identity designer. I like that. So all right. What's the goal with the site?
The goal with this site is to get clients, and specifically to get as many clients as possible to reach out about my Launchpad service, which is kind of a productized service that I launched back in November and have had a lot of success with.
Oh, very cool. Okay. All right. So if the goal is to gain clients, here's what I'm looking at: free proposal, free discovery and proposal. So it's basically the same CTA.
Yep.
And a link to your process. Okay, so right off the bat, we'll get into the copy in a second, but like I feel like this is just hanging on there. Like it's an afterthought almost.
Okay.
So just like I was saying for the first one, I would just keep things really, really hyper focused on the header of the site. Just a single
eliminate the secondary CTA.
Yeah. Because it's tempting to throw one up there because you don't want to restrict things, but like this is what people are here for. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see. want to scale this down a bit. Let's see. Screen resize. Window resizer and go 1920. All right, cool. So on my screen, it looked like the content of the site was getting a little lost. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. Like, these large screens are pretty rare. So I just wanted to resize the window so I could get to see the website in its intended format. So design in words for fresh-faced startups and mature SMBs. Poor branding destroys trust and hurts your bottom line. Let's make sure you never get lost in the noise again. Okay, so as far as the positioning statement goes, I like this. Are you a pro member?
No, I'm not.
Okay, because we did a huge venture down positioning in the past couple of months, and this is pretty close. So the thing about the positioning statement here is that what you're basically saying is, I want to work with small businesses, and as a client, I'm viewing this as, I am really affordable.
Interesting. Okay.
So you may be framing your services as the affordable option by saying you want to work with startups and small businesses. And so instead of saying, I want to work with a specific company size, what I would rather see is design in words for startups in the X space. So let's say, let's take a look at your existing client base and see. So a Florida-based personal trainer. Okay.
Yeah, not a lot of case studies up right now, unfortunately.
Okay, no problem. What are some other clients that you've had?
It's a great question. They tend to be all over the place, which is kind of why I've been hesitant to position or to kind of specialize in a specific industry. Because I know this is kind of, typical of designers and creative people is, you don't really like to limit yourself, right, in terms of what type of client you would like to take on. It's really a mix of e-commerce, consumer services, B2B services. It's all over the place.
Okay, that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be all over the place. If I put every single piece of work that I've ever done up, like, most people would be totally lost. And I think that the best thing to do though is to pick one lane and try it out for a while. So the thing about having a narrow positioning is that you aren't restricted from working with other people. You just want to curate the stuff that you share on your personal website so that it all says the same one thing. Right. So if I had to redo Blind from the ground up right now, if we needed to abandon the future and go to Blind and redo everything, what I would do is I would position us as an expert in commercial real estate branding. And we would pursue commercial real estate branding because we have a deep experience in it. It's interesting work. And it's as soon as we land one client, you get those repetitive jobs because they're launching new buildings all the time. And so the thing about it is that if a burger joint wandered in and said, "Hey, we got 200 grand. We're ready to go," we could take that job, no problem. We just probably wouldn't put it out on the case that on the website. So it's not that you're restricting it. It's just that you're speaking to a specific group of people. And so that's the thing that I would recommend, because right now, if a savvy client is going to read this as "Hey, here's a young kid that's really cheap and affordable."
Right. Okay.
So it would take some introspection and some a fresh look at your portfolio. But I think that you're spot on the design. The design of the site is really, really nice. It's super clean. It's fresh. It's fun. It's the positioning statement that I'm really drawn to, that I want to fix for you. Because startups and then small businesses, I don't think that one can have specific expertise in a business size. I think it's more of a vertical. So I think that that's going to be important for you to garner. All right.
Okay.
So moving forward, love the social proof on the site, right? So we've got the testimonials here. And do these lead to case studies?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So here's the case study that we saw. Why aren't these on the work page?
They
Or
are.
are they?
Those are the
Oh, okay,
only
got it.
3 case studies up on the site right now.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's do this test. Same test that we did with Boy Tokyo. Let's take a look at your headlines. Design words for fresh-faced startups and mature SMBs. Poor branding is destroying trust and hurting your bottom line. And I will help you create a brand that draws people in. You want to become unforgettable, increase your perceived value, turn prospects into buyers. You can stand out with visuals and words that sell even in crowded markets. Are we the perfect fit? That is a narrative structure that is beautifully written. Good job. Congrats on that, dude. Seriously, I'm pumped that worked out so well.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that? You guys notice that narrative was there? The backbone was there throughout the whole thing. So really, really good job on that. Seriously, it's fantastic.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So I like that you have secondary. Oh, go ahead.
So I think probably that's why that turned out so well.
Yep. I think what you've done here. Did you follow a format when it came to writing the copy on your homepage? Like, was there like a formula that you found somewhere?
Not really, no.
Okay, because I'm noticing a pattern.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a pattern here that I really like, because
All right.
you give people the what. So like if someone lands on your site, it's like you instantly explain this. And then there's social proof, but then you get down to here's the pain point.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So then once the pain is explained, then you communicate your value to people. And I think that that's a powerful format to do. And then you explain how. So it's like, here's your pain. Here's the value that I can bring. And here's how I bring that value to you. And then there's a call to action. So it's a really good format to have on your page. Aesthetic wise, I really like the color scheme. The blue and the teal works really well together. The gradients are awesome. The only thing that I'm like weirded out about is that the logo doesn't seem to fit the rest of the brand. And it's like this black letter thing, which is beautiful.
Like I'm really into black letters, so I just felt like there was too much sans serif all over the place, and so I wanted something to kind of break up the monotony a little bit.
Yeah, I think that it just, if there were more black letter somewhere, or like you could tie into it somehow with stuff that doesn't look like the startup world, or maybe even change your sans serif to something that's really funky, like a super, like a grotesque that's like super weird.
Right.
I think that it would line up more with the logo, because this is so clean and so professional that logo just screams at me.
Okay.
So that's the only misalignment that I see. But I love the logo. Like, I think it's really cool. It's just there's a mismatch there.
Right. That makes sense.
All right, so let's go to services. Branding services for small business. Launch brand sprint. Okay, cool. So this has been successful for you at that price point.
Yeah.
Good. I'm
Very
glad.
much so.
I would say that like this is probably the upper tier for small businesses. $10,000 is probably the highest limit that a startup or somebody that's not funded, or that kind of thing. I think that is definitely the higher end, which is great. Good for you. But that's the most you'll be able to make in your chosen niche. So I think that it's great that you're succeeding here, and if you're gonna do this for the next 30 years, fantastic. But I think that like this amount you're gonna get stagnant here pretty quick. Which is why if you pivot more towards like, if you're the personal trainer brander guy, sorry, my kiddo's screaming in the hallway.
Right.
If you're the personal branding guy, or if you're the or not personal branding, personal trainer branding guy, or if you are like the tech, maybe it's fintech branding guy. I don't know what you have in your portfolio, but if you're that guy, you can get a startup in the fintech space, but you can also sign Robinhood. And so there's been tons of success stories, like people in the pro group who have gone through this. One rebranded as a vegan branding agency, and they're exploding right now. Like they just signed Beyond Meat, which is a massive company.
Huge.
So I think that like if you go with verticals, you can still work with startups, and that could be your lead into the vertical, but like you'll be able to work with massive companies at scale, depending. So, as far as services go, I would probably want some form of actual services, meaning this is kind of like productized engagement groups, but like, what do you actually do? Because as a client, I would probably want to make sure that like, see, there's outputs here, but I would probably want to under these big engagements, I would want to list those out. Where it's like, here's what we do: web design, sprints, all that kind of stuff. We've done that on the blind site really well. So
yeah.
Base 10 wants to know, what'd you build the website in?
What did I build the website in? It's built on Jekyll.
Jekyll.
It's a static site generator. Yeah.
Static site generator. That's cool. All right, let's take a look at your case studies.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. One thing. Just do this today. Make this nav stick to the top of the page. So like right here, it should freeze.
Yeah,
it should be
that's a
sticky.
good idea.
Okay. Because I was like super stoked on it and it didn't happen. All right. So overview, rolling outcomes. In just 2 weeks, I delivered a full brand identity, all the essential. Okay. So if you want to set this precedent, go for it. But I would say this is the danger zone, right? And then outcomes is fine. But right up top, I want to know how this impacted my business, or how this could impact my business. So I go in really deep on this on the complete case study, but you really want to have impact front and center. So after this guy went through your Launchpad service, what happened? Like, what happened with Daniel Sanchez? And I think that a follow-up call would probably be good.
Right.
Because you want to call him and ask him like, hey, how has business been? And then that's something that you can say, after this, Daniel's revenue increased by 600%, and he was able to onboard 60 new personal training clients, an impact that was beyond both of our beliefs, or whatever, that kind of thing. Right. But that's going to speak to your business person in this.
Yeah, and I've tried to do that. So Daniel here was a very recent client of mine. We wrapped up the project less than a month ago, I think. So this is still very fresh. If you take a look at the Ed Lattimore case study, I do try to include a lot of
great. So
a lot of that.
Even with fresh projects, you can still do this by conducting questionnaires and interviews with his potential, hopefully like his customers, or it can even be like, you have to tread carefully here, but like friends and family. But it's almost like taking a new piece of packaging into a supermarket and talking to 100 people and saying, what would you prefer, the old one or the new one? Like which packaging would you prefer, would appeal more to you? And then in your case study, you can say, 98 out of 100 people prefer the packaging that I've created for this client. And so that's like getting numbers and statistics like that is super easy to do. You just have to be careful about, the way that you approach it.
Right. No, I love that idea. I'm going to do that.
I think the visuals are great. I think that the only way that you can make this better is maybe a glimpse at the process. So we lead with an image here, which is great. And I love that there's a rating here, and I'm in danger. I'm in danger. The thing that I'm just lacking is just a little bit of process. So we do this really well in the Anime Expo case study on the Blind site, so you can check that out. But that's the only piece, that's the only visual that I'm missing.
Yeah. I'll bring that in.
What happens if it's nearly 50-50? You go to a different store and do it all. No, I'm just kidding. I probably wouldn't talk about that if the project's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cornelius, that's funny. Okay, well, good job, dude. I'm pumped for you. It's a great site. I think with those small tweaks and then just reconsidering your positioning, you'd be really off to a great start. And if you're enjoying things, keep it rolling. Just kind of keep that in the back of your head as you start to pull on more of those kinds of jobs.
Thanks. Yeah, definitely will do. I'm trying to be very thoughtful about, because I do eventually, I think, want to specialize in a specific industry, but at this point in time, I've been freelancing now for I think 5 years. I just don't feel like I have enough domain expertise in a specific area to really pull that off in a way that I would feel comfortable doing it.
Right. That makes total sense. I think that just as you see more of these jobs, keep it in the back of your head where it's like the way forward is getting more specific, because what you'll want to do is kind of increase the amount that you're pulling in from each job and decrease the amount of jobs that you take on per year. Like 10 to 12 is plenty for the year. And
right.
I don't know about you, but I would want to make more from my agency than 60 grand a year. So it's like, I think that like, that's one of those things where, right now you may be okay with the grind and pushing these things through. But I would start focusing on like what the next step is.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, man. Well, I appreciate it. I'm giving you the boot.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Oh man, it is literally that easy. Literally that easy. I just had to drag and drop. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. All right, guys, we went a little long today. I hope that's okay. I gotta go start my day with the team, so I gotta roll. I hope that you guys found some value in today. I don't know. Just let me know in the chat if you liked the if what your favorite part about the stream was. I think that I'm gonna do these critiques more often because it's a great way for me to give back and to just help you guys out. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a critique of an end result. Like, if you want to jump on, I can give you some pointers about like work in progress and stuff like that. But we'll probably do like 1 or 2 of these every single stream. It's a nice break from, for me at least, from performing. So for those of you guys who put work in the critique requests channel, I'll get to those eventually for sure. Right on. General information and detailed info, all of it. Okay, cool. Yeah. What'd you guys think of the focus sprints? What if we did like, obviously with design and stuff, we could talk through that. With writing, it's a little difficult. So I think I'm going to carry the bulk of that at night because I don't know how entertaining that was, or, the ASMR was nice, I guess. But, I think that like just the concept of a focus sprint is interesting. Is there a link to a Discord? Yeah, you just hit exclamation Discord in the chat. I'll give you the link. This was awesome. What I learned today: avoid pepper spray. Oh, it's terrible. Oh my god, it's terrible. Especially when you get in the shower later and it starts washing down. Oh, horrible. Khalil, I appreciate it. Yeah. Is it possible to send you any design, not only website work? I prefer website work, but if you have something that you're really struggling with, I could probably help. It's just going to be outside of my wheelhouse of expertise. Like logo design, I've creative directed. Branding projects, I've creative directed, and print projects, I'm pretty familiar with. I guess that's everything. But like, you throw me some motion work, and I'm I'm gonna be lost. Well, cool. Moonraid, it's good to see you in the chat. You've been working the entire time. It's great to hear the critiques. Well, cool. Great. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Well, very cool. All right, so let's find a streamer to raid. Any suggestions? Wonder what Charlie's been up to. She hasn't been on stream for a while now. She's probably busy with something. Let's see. Art. Guest motion critiques with Matthew. Yeah. I think Matthew's going to be a behemoth in the interior design space, so look for that. Maybe he can critique your living room or something. That dude's got an eye for that stuff. Seriously, like, whew. Dude, I'm not finding anything that's like super applicable to the channel. Hold on 1 second. Makers, maybe? Oh, Teja's live. Okay, let's go see Teja because we've been talking about custom keyboards in the chat, so let's do that. He's got 1.5 thousand viewers, so he doesn't necessarily need it, but hey, let's go do that. He's got a great stream. If you like that ASMR, if you like that kind of like chatty work with me vibe, he's gonna be good. Yeah, he is the OG of keyboards, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back on Friday, and hopefully by Friday we'll be moving into the actual design of the site, so pumped for that. See you then.